Alright, you said you wanted me to play the intro again, right? Why don't I do that while we wait for new people? There we go.
Once more through the delicate sands, our stems overlap, spiraling, burgeoning petals unbent. Oh, blackberry honey, your drops seal our fate. Deep in your purity, love germinates. Lilies white, fill my soul up with tender light, and roses so red bloom therein with delight. Indigo, violets like moonbeams so high, and noble in color my sky. Forget me not, oh sweet starlight above. Carry my wishes, small dreams, and my love. Past the gardens deep and the foxgloves ring, till the hidden lotus reach. Through afternoons, amber twilights, our cadence is like the fragrant jasmines embracing their light. The essence, the nectar that's weaving our song, guide my heart to the place I belong. Once more through the echoing songs, our flowers hold strong to the roots of this everlasting bond. Oh, blackberry honey, your strands of pure gold, make us love sweeter 20,000 fold. Deep in your purity, love we behold.
Alright. My parents aren't home this time, so I don't have to worry about them coming in. Hello. Wait, we need Eric here. Let me at him. Should we wait for him, or should I just... Uh... Sanaku, I
I
bet you could do a good reading of this.
Alright, sure. I did him last time. Okay, let's see if
Yeah.
I'm worse or. Wait, Eric joined? No, it's not him. Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Let me open it. Okay. Okay. Mental preparation. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
That would indeed be nice if it were true. But over the last week, Lorna had been having some serious doubts. If those who were poor in spirit would inherit the kingdom of heaven, why did those in the lower echelons of society have to sit at the very back of the church? If Toho were there, Lorna was sure she would have snorted at the hypocrisy of it all. Ah. Why was she pondering of the hypocrisy of the Bible of all things? She had been raised better than that. She was a good Christian girl, certainly not the kind who would question the verses written in the King James Bible. It must have been Toho's fault. The older woman was getting to her.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
But those who had cause to mourn rarely found comfort. When Lorna's father had died, nobody had come to help the Wa family. Instead, Lorna's mother had bitten back her grief, rolled up her sleeves, and diverted all her efforts into the upkeep of her small shop. She had worked from morning until dusk, darning socks and sewing laces onto sleeves until her fingers were bent, swollen, and sore, and it hurt for her to even move them. Lorna had helped, for nobody else would, and her mother could hardly afford to employ any assistants. So too did Ethel and Mary, but it wasn't enough, not with little Alice on the way, and their father lost at the bottom of the ocean. So Lorna became a maid. This was 3 years ago. It felt like a lifetime.
Blessed are the weak, for they shall inherit the earth.
But once more, Lorena could not square this statement with reality. If the meek truly would inherit the earth, why had Miss Amy been driven away from Bly? It seemed entirely unfair.
Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you, and persecute you, and they shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my sake.
While Pauline had been reviling and persecuting Lorena most grandly as of late, but Lorena didn't feel particularly blessed. If anything, she felt miserable. The only one capable of coming to Lorena's defense was Toho. Is that what Reverend Marner meant? Could Toho be considered a blessing? But Lorena wasn't sure about that. Toho, with her black heart and wicked smiles, was more demonic than angelic. Hardly a being God would send to comfort Lorena in her darkest hour.
Rejoice, and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
But maybe Lorena did have cause to be glad after all. She had Toho, and perhaps Toho was enough. Who was she again?
That was San until Alex came.
Do you want to voice
That
her?
was Alexi, I think.
Yeah.
Sure, I can.
Sorry?
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so I do it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Aga, you must be so relieved.
Hang on, let me read the chat.
No, Alexi's
Is Hannah coming today? Let me check. She didn't reply yet.
Alexi.
The Discord seems much more active lately, doesn't it? Like someone just picked me in feedback.
Really?
Yeah,
Bro, you
I'll look at it
just
later.
released an update. What?
yeah.
Like, now is gonna be the time the game is gonna blow. So
Well,
it's certain.
Like
the devlog will be when it gets a lot of people, I think.
Hmm.
I'm not sure like what to make the focus of the next devlog yet. I'll have to think more about that. I didn't like do
Have
the
one of us. You should
What?
just have one of us do the entire voiceover for it.
No.
It'd be funny.
I thought it was just gonna be like Twitch where it's like
He said
you brought
no.
everyone into Yeri, and then now you're like starting the Yaoi fight. So now
I
like
don't
Yes,
know.
Yaoi.
war era.
No.
It did cause like a
Wait,
lot of
wait,
Wait,
incidents
is it
last
yaoi?
time.
Is it? Wait, it's not. It's just regular dudes and girls, right? Or
Yeah,
no?
no, it's not
Yeah,
actually
okay.
like it's not actually like dating sim game or anything like that.
No. You can talk about the fact you added characters and you
Mhm.
added more map. So
Yeah.
if this, and then you can,
Mhm.
start it and the topic works out of it.
Yeah. I think I was voicing her first, but why?
Did you hear what Reverend Marner said?
Lysolot smiled brightly, like one who had made a great scientific breakthrough. Knowing Lysolot, the chances of that happening were slim to none.
Blessed are the meek, he said. The meek!
And what does that mean?
You are rather meek, aren't you, Ada?
Ada pointed at herself, her cheeks flushing pink. I am?
Indeed!
But what does it mean to be meek?
I'm not entirely sure.
Lysolot pondered, tapping one finger against her lower lip.
It is a complex word, and I have been learning English only for 5 years.
Mine's, I think you were her, right?
Yeah. Mine.
Mine's.
Alright, hold on. I was just sending my little brother away.
Okay.
Okay. 5 years is enough, surely.
If a 5-year-old could not speak basic English, I would worry it was an idiot.
But when I was 5, I spoke only in Swiss German. My English is not so good.
Then why are you acting so enlightened after attending a single sermon, Lottie?
I doubt you could even understand it.
Maybe not, but the Reverend has a very, how do you say, a rich and passionate voice. It is nice to listen to him, and I quite agree with what he said.
Lysalot smiled proudly, seemingly unaware that Pauline and Isabel were teasing her.
The meek will rule the kingdom of heaven, and the girls such as Ada will be rewarded.
I don't know if I would feel comfortable ruling anything.
Yes. Thanks, Grandma. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yes, let's not let that happen. It would be a right mess.
Much like your explanations.
What can you expect from a blonde?
Hey, what about me?
You're not a drippy Swiss maiden like Lottie. It doesn't count.
A drippy Swiss maiden?
I'm afraid to think.
I suppose so.
I got it.
I fail to see what my hair color has to do with anything.
Who was she?
Alex was Effie. Alex was Effie. So
Who wants to do her?
Effie's really neutral, so you can jump in there if you want, Tren.
Okay. I like your hair.
oh, thank you, but
Lysalot pinched a lock of her blonde hair between her fingertips. She tilted her head to one side. Effie is very monotone. Perfect.
what do you think, Lorena?
I think your hair is very pretty. But Lorena's voice was absent. Though she was with her fellow maids in the present, walking through the streets of Ellesmere, her mind was miles away. Ah, if you don't mind, I need to post a letter.
Oh, you and your letters. Why do you even bother?
Maids shouldn't write. We have more important things to worry about.
Who would want to receive a letter from you, anyways?
My mother, hopefully.
Your precious mother can't be that keen on you, or she wouldn't have sent you away to the Bly.
Pauline, you go too far.
I'm sure Lorena's mother loves her a great deal. Probably.
Whatever.
Pauline rolled her eyes. She didn't look convinced.
Sorry, I'm chewing.
Chew faster.
I'm trying to toast.
Ah. Grilled
You can
cheese.
do what you want, Lorena, but I shan't cover for you if you're late again. I'll tell Mr. Lester and Miss Smith. I swear I will.
Lorena knew she hadn't expected for one moment that Pauline would cover for her. She'd never done it before. Thank you. Lorena's reply was stiff, so were her shoulders.
You know, you might want to be careful, Lorena.
Why?
Miss Amy was sent away from Bly. You never know who will be next.
Clerk. Okay, this person is new. Who wants to voice them? You?
Thank you for your patronage, ma'am.
Lorena bowed her head and exited the post office, the bell overhead jingling as she did so. The sound was light and jaunty and helped lift Lorena's spirits. Being free from Bly and all those who lived within it, Lady Leonard, Lady Constance, Pauline, and Isabel, for a scant handful of minutes was pure bliss. Lorena could get used to this kind of freedom. Is this what the kingdom of heaven was like? Lorena hoped so, but at the same time she had begun to doubt whether she would be going there after she died. She shouldn't have questioned Reverend Marner so. He must have understood religion in far greater depth than she did. He was, after all, a reverend. Lorena was just a maid.
They're flirting again in the chat.
Are they?
Yes.
Where? My phone. Damn it.
Kate and Faye.
With a small sigh, Lorena walked through Ellesmere. As it was a Sunday, all the shops were closed. Lorena only ever went to Ellesmere on a Sunday, and she had never seen the grocer open for business, or a queue snaking along the street at the butcher's. The atmosphere on the day of rest was slow, lazy, and languid, as it should have been. A black cat luxuriated in the spring sunshine. A few butterflies, Cabbage Patch, judging by their milky white wings, fluttered by in the air. Lorna made her way past chatting old ladies, a few children playing hopscotch on the streets, a tall woman with unusual eyes and long black hair. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Lorna paused, her footsteps stilled. She watched the woman as she walked past, her long hair fluttering behind her like an inverted bridal veil. The mysterious woman wore the attire of a maid, with a dark skirt and a sensible white apron, and held a leather case in her right hand, rather more elegant than Lorena's battered trunk with the crushed corner. Lorena recognized her. She hadn't seen that case before, and a most peculiar case it was too, but she knew the hand that held it. Toho?
Oh,
Toho turned about, a small smile on her face.
my little Lori, this is a pleasant surprise.
And judging by her tone, she meant it. Lorena's face flustered. She dropped her head and looked at her shoes. For whatever reason, Toho's presence unsettled her. Maybe because Lorna had spent much of the Sunday service running the older maid's face through her mind, thinking of her eyes, her nose, her lips. Why her lips? It's not really a surprise. I go to church every Sunday. You should know that.
Oh yes, silly me, it quite slipped my mind.
Toho laughed softly. Her laughter was light and elegant. If anything, I should be asking you what you're doing here. The service ended a few minutes ago, you know. Toho raised an eyebrow.
You think I would come here to go to church?
No, but I can think of no other reason why you would come here, unless... Lorna glanced at the case, marveling at its bizarre hourglass shape. What do you have there?
Oh, this?
Toho glanced at the case and smiled mischievously.
This, my little Lori, is a secret.
Of course it is. Lorna heaved a heavy sigh. I should have known. Nothing was easy with Toho. The 25th of April. Also, how much longer is this game roughly? Like, do you think I can finish today? The Yuri never ends, oh god.
She's gonna send you another Yuri game, isn't
No.
she?
I need a break. I need a long ass break from this. The following day was a Monday, and once more Lorena found herself occupied with the laundry. The young maid sighed, wiping the back of her forehead with her arm, and stepped back to admire her handiwork. After a rigorous half an hour, she finally managed to peg the laundry up on the line. The white linen fluttered like ghosts in the air. If Lizelot had been there, she would have fainted clean away. What a peculiar girl. Lorena watched the sheets flutter for a while, billowing in a manner that reminded her of ball gowns. Not that she had ever been to a ball. Lorena might have been a Cinderella-like figure forced to scuttle about amongst the ashes and soot, but she would never ever be able to attend a grand event like that. Not without a fairy godmother. What is a fairy godmother? I've only heard that in Shrek.
I think it's from Shrek.
It's from
Is it?
Cinderella. No, it's from
Hmm.
Cinderella.
Oh.
And speaking
It's
of what?
whoa, I was gonna tell you what it was. It's from Cinderella. It's
Hmm.
you know, the story of Cinderella. She's a lady, or she was a princess who was cast down to fucking poverty and all that, but
Hmm.
she gets a fairy godmother who's basically this, exactly what it sounds like, a fairy godmother, and gives her basically one night to a time like time limit. You know the story of Cinderella. She's like basically fucking grant a wish
Yeah.
type shit.
Well, no, I don't really know it, but I believe you.
Oh well, I'll tell you later. Because you got Blackberry
Story
to
time
finish.
with Mines.
Story time with Mines, except Mines is horrible at telling stories, guys.
Hello, Lori. It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
Toho. Lorena glanced at the peculiar maid from beneath her eyelashes. Sometimes Lorena forgot because she often saw Toho for a scant matter of seconds as they passed in the hallways, but the parlor maid really was tall.
I see you've been busy doing the laundry.
Yes, well, Pauline was supposed to help, but
She mysteriously vanished, am I correct?
she always vanishes, and there's nothing mysterious about it. She'll be off bothering the stable heads, or fawning over the valets, or gossiping with Isabel about something or other, something entirely unimportant.
That does sound like Pauline.
Toho sighed. The wind made her hair dance mysteriously. Almost exotically, the smell of orange peel and bergamot hung in the air, a lingering aroma of tea leaves, perhaps. Being a parlor maid, Toho spent a good deal of her time serving cups of tea for Lady Leonard and her guests, and she often had a faintly fruity aroma to her.
If you wish, I could tell Miss Smith about it. Pauline's conduct is abysmal.
Oh, no, it's fine.
But she's making your life difficult.
And Toho didn't know the half of it. If any complaints about Pauline's conduct were to reach the draconian Miss Smythe, or Smithy, I forget, Lorena would be sure to get the blame. Lorena's life would no longer be worth living if that was the case. Pauline was not a learned woman by any means. She couldn't read or write. She was, however, unsettlingly sneaky, intelligent when it came to rooting out weak points and exploiting them for maximum effect. Her words rose once more to Lorena's mind. Slut. Muffin Man's gonna clip that.
I'm not here.
Yep.
You look perplexed, my little Lori. If Pauline is abusing you to the point you can't focus on your work, I might need to take matters into my own hands.
I appreciate it, but I'd much rather you didn't.
But Lori,
What?
I don't like to see you suffer so. Not when I have the power to help you.
I'm not suffering. Don't exaggerate. I'm stronger than I look.
An independent young lady.
Indeed. Lorena didn't break down after the death of her father, and she wouldn't break down now. Pauline's provocations might have been upsetting, but Lorena had dealt with worse. She didn't need Toho to fight her battles for her. In fact, that raised an interesting question of its own. Why have you been so nice to me lately?
Do you even need to ask?
Well, I just did ask, so...
Oh, Lori, it's because I like you, silly.
Oh,
All of a sudden, the spring sunshine seemed a touch warmer than before. It was making Lorena's cheeks burn, or perhaps they were burning of their own accord. She had not expected that. Why do you like me? You barely know me.
Because you have such a funny, serious face for a young girl, and you always work so very hard. You're tenacious. It's quite adorable, really.
I am not.
You definitely are.
Lorena, Lorena folded her arms and turned her head to one side. I think you have bad taste.
And I think you should have more self-confidence, Miss Wall.
Toho tugged at Lorena's ponytail with her thumb and forefinger. Instinctively, Lorena jerked her head away and gave Toho a glare. Cut that out. The older maid giggled again. Lorena scowled. At least Toho's gentle teasing was preferable to the all-out cruelty that fell from Pauline's lips. This is terrible. This is like Stockholm Syndrome.
Now, if you're finished with the laundry, Lord, would you care to come with me? There's something I wish to show you.
Why?
So suspicious. I just want to show you something cute.
Cute?
Alright, sorry.
It would cheer you up.
Well,
Please, my little Lori. Please, please, please.
it was unlike Toho to beg. The brazen display was so highly unsuitable for such a cool, calm, aloof woman. Lorena found herself agreeing simply so Toho would stop. Fine, alright. I can lend you an ear for 5 minutes, but only 5 minutes, you understand?
Oh, goody.
Toho smiled brightly and clapped her hands together. Lorena surveyed her, eyes half-lidded and mistrustful. Her face flushed the softest shade of peach pink. Why did she feel like she had been manipulated? As Lorena soon discovered, the something cute Toho wanted to share with her was... a cat?
That's right.
Toho beamed proudly like a mother cradling a newborn babe. The cat the older maid held in her arms was black, its eyes a brilliant green. It bore more than a passing resemblance to the woman petting it. To such an extent it was quite uncanny. The cat nuzzled its fluffy head against Toho's chest, its ears twitching. Every once in a while it purred contentedly, batting Toho's arm with a padded paw. Where did the cat come from exactly?
Well, when a daddy cat loves a mummy cat very much.
Be sensible, please.
Oh my little Lori. I think you are rather too sensible.
Toho laughed. The cat cradled in her arms shook, roused by the motions of Toho's chest.
I don't know where it came from exactly. I just seem to attract cats. It's my special talent.
Lorena resisted the urge to roll her eyes. While other girls can plait French braids or play the harpsichord, you can summon cats at will.
It is quite a useful skill, more so than one might think.
I'll take your word for it. Toho rubbed her fingers behind her sleepy kitten's ears. It purred in approval. How long has this cat been coming to Bly?
I'm not entirely sure. He's been hanging around the gardens for a while. A few months or so?
Does he belong to anyone in Ellesmere?
I think he's a stray.
He looks rather well fed for a stray.
Because I am very sentimental deep down inside, and I love doting on creatures that are smaller and weaker than I.
Lorena pondered, one hand behind her chin. You know, I found Lady Constance in the garden a few nights ago.
I couldn't give a stuff about that unpleasant brat.
Me neither, but it does make me wonder. She said she heard a cat outside her bedroom window. Could it be this one?
I don't know, and I don't care. Either way, I won't surrender Figaro to her.
Figaro?
After the Mozart opera, the marriage of, you know.
I don't know very much about the opera. I've never even been to London.
It's fine. We don't all have the same opportunities in life. It can't be helped.
I suppose not, but... Lorena looked at Toho curiously. Toho might have been a higher social status than herself, but she was still only a maid. How many maids could afford to go to the opera?
What do you think about my cat Panion, Lori? He's cute, isn't he?
Catpanion. He is very cute, yes.
Well, you can't have him.
Toho stuck out her tongue playfully. Lorena resisted the urge to pinch Toho's tongue between her thumb and forefinger.
Figaro is mine.
I thought you said he was a stray.
But he more or less belongs to me. He even comes into my room at night.
Ah yes, your room. I forgot you were so privileged.
I don't know if it's a privilege, really.
It definitely is. Most parlor maids wouldn't receive such special treatment.
I am not like most parlor maids.
Toho sighed, expelling a soft breath into the lukewarm air.
I suppose I don't mind the solitude, but it can become rather disquieting. Human beings were not made to be alone.
You mean you get lonely?
I'm made of flesh and blood like you. Isn't it normal for people to get lonely?
I don't know, I never would have expected it from you. You always act like you're too good to spend time with anybody, so I just assumed.
Is that a problem?
No, it's kind of endearing actually.
Thank you. I'm glad you find my suffering endearing. It almost makes it all worthwhile. In any event, if you enjoy spending time with Figaro, and he seems rather fond of you, I see no reason for this to be your final farewell.
Pardon?
If you wish, you may come and see him in my room.
Hi, but that...
What?
Your room belongs to you.
Indeed, my room does belong to me. Nicely observed.
Lorena pouted. Don't be like that.
What? Right?
Lorena rolled her eyes heavenward, though her view of heaven was obscured somewhat by the thicket trees that surrounded her. According to Toho, Figaro was fond of the shade. He liked stealing away within the shadows of this more thickly forested area of Blythe's gardens, and rarely padded past these trees. Don't be fascist. Fascist. How do you say that?
Facetious.
Fascist. I just meant it would feel wrong somehow.
Why should it feel wrong? We're both women. There's nothing to suspect about that, is there? Unless you're worried about being with Figaro.
Obviously that isn't an issue.
Then,
Toho's eyes narrowed. A small smirk captured her lips.
being with me is?
Lorena felt herself flustering despite the relative shade she provided by the relative shade provided by the foliage. She bowed her head, lest Toho see how pink her cheeks had become. Why did she feel so embarrassed? This invitation was completely innocent, wasn't it? Lorena didn't know. It was hard to tell with Toho, particularly when Toho's earlier words continued to circle about the young maid's head.
I'm hardly the devil, my little Lori. If you must compare me to a manifestation of evil, then...
Hang on, I'm very behind on the chat. Hold on.
It's fine. We're just messing it out. Nothing worthwhile.
Bro, literally nothing's happening. You're missing it.
What was that,
You're
like,
missing-
terrible joke that, like, Ludwig made, like, a long time ago when he first started out, and he had, like, no people in the chat, and then the one member that was there is like, bro, just keep your eyes on the screen, nothing's here, no one's here.
No,
That's funny.
I'm looking here. There is nothing new. Exactly.
Seriously.
I'm hardly the devil, my little Lori. If you must compare me to a manifestation of evil,
Ha!
I would far prefer to be called a succubus.
Haha, get sucked.
Ah, you do.
Alright, how should I do this? Lorena stared at the floor resolutely, rocking back and forth on her heels as she thought. Don't look so surprised, but I only came here to see Figaro. I don't really want to see you. How did that sound? Was it too defensive? It sounded too defensive, even to Lorena's ears. Ahem. Lorena coughed. She could feel her cheeks starting to flush. This was no good. It was no good at all. She'd been standing outside Toho's room for 5 minutes, but she still had no idea how to approach her. The door to Toho's room loomed before her in the darkness, unreasonably intimidating. Lorena swallowed. She shifted from foot to foot. Gosh, this is ridiculous. I'm being ridiculous. I'm not here for anything indecent. I just want to see Figaro. That was Lorena's story, but she was going to stick to it. And she was going to stick to it. All you have to do is knock. Just knock. It really wasn't that hard. Not compared to some of the hoops Lady Constance made her jump through on a near daily basis. She could do it. She would do it. And just like that, Lorena knocked against the door. She knocked once, twice, and then she waited, and waited, and waited. Was Toho not there? Maybe this was all a waste of time. The knot of unease in her stomach started to recede. Lorena wasn't sure if she was happy or sad by this turn of events. But at least she didn't have to face Toho. She didn't know if she could. She turned, ready to depart, when...
Oh my, Lori, you've caught me in the middle of a midnight snack.
A soft voice called out to her. The door opened, creaking on its hinges, and there stood Lorena's unknowing tormentor.
Is that you, my little Lori?
Don't call me that.
I'll take that as a yes. Now,
Toho's eyes roved over Lorena's body.
Why are you standing out there, silly? Come inside.
Thank you. Lorena was ushered inside, and Toho closed the door behind her with a dull slam. There was no escaping now. Oh god.
I didn't expect you to take me up on my offer so quickly, you know.
Well, Lorena swallowed. Her throat was dry. I didn't have anything better to do, so...
I was the last resort.
Your company is preferable to Pauline's, at least.
I should hope so, too. The housemaids can be so catty.
Speaking of which... Lorena glanced about the room, her curious eyes trying to drink in every last detail. Is Figaro here?
Of course, he and I are inseparable. Look.
Toho crossed the room and sat on the edge of her bed, patting her lap with one hand. As if on cue, Figaro poked his head out from beneath the duvet and padded obediently towards his mistress.
There you are. There's a good boy. Look, Laurie has come to play with you again.
Lorena leant forward, hands resting on her thighs, and peered at the cat curiously. Hello? Toho giggled.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he can't understand you, Laurie.
Shut up.
You would rather sit in silence for an hour?
I didn't say that.
What a complicated girl. I'm afraid I don't understand what you want from me. Not one bit.
Dren, I'ma need the audio for this 30-second timestamp. Oh god. I assume the ending is like soon. I don't want anything from you. Just her company. Being in Toho's presence was more than enough. With a soft sigh, Lorena took a seat on the edge of Toho's bed. Though she had a room to herself, the older maid's lodgings were not particularly extravagant. Her room was a small one, tucked away beneath the rafters that sloped down so dangerously low, one was in danger of bumping their head if they stood on their tiptoes. At least a tall woman like Toho would be. Lorena was in no such immediate danger herself, but the closeness of the ceiling still set her on edge. The room was rather sparse. Toho owned a few personal possessions, no loose ribbons for her hair, or pieces of jewelry or hand-sewn comforters. There were, however, books, a small stack of them balanced on the floor by Toho's bed. On Toho's bedside there lay a gilt hairbrush with a thick handle, and a pitcher of water. Is that for Figaro?
Mm-hmm. I do love looking after my pets.
You're far more doting than you look. Toho shrugged.
If I like something, I want to take care of that. It's basic human nature.
Wait, Laurie's gay?
You're fig.
I like to think
You're
that,
setting us up. You're setting us up.
I like to think
Damn
that
it.
Toho is like actually sweating right now, and she's like, she didn't plan to get this far. She's like, oh no, the
Yeah.
baddie's inside. What do I
This is too
do?
fast. This is too fast. Abort
Yeah.
it. What the fuck? Take the balance down.
Wait, Laurie's gay? Like, bro.
Yes.
Come on.
I have wondered about that from time to time.
Wait, that you were
My
serious? I
status
thought you
is-
were just doing it for the memes.
No, I was reading the dialogue.
Oh, okay. Oh shit.
my status as a human being.
Well, Lorena shifted on the bed. Her skirts felt cool against her flushed skin. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. You are quite unusual.
Are you calling me a witch? I know, I get that a lot.
Does it bother you?
My opinion is immaterial.
But what do you think?
I think a great deal of things.
Why are they so close?
Then what do you want?
Oh my, this is becoming rather personal.
Toho prodded the tip of Lorena's nose with her finger.
That, my little Lori, is a rather complex question.
Just try me.
Well,
Toho leant forwards, her voice dropping to a whisper. Mine said, I want to eat you, Lori. Cannibalism.
Okay, bro.
right now, my little Lori.
Yes? Toho leaned closer still, the tip of her nose almost bumped against Lorena's.
Do you want to try and guess?
I am not very good at guessing games. And even closer. Toho's lips were really were pretty. They were soft and pale pink like apple blossoms. There had been apple trees at Hartwell before Lorena had been thrown out in disgrace. The delicate blossoms that spread along the branches during the springtime were beautiful. Lorena had always liked them. Ah. A soft, fragrant aroma lingered around the older woman, of flowers and freshly brewed tea, orange peel and bergamot. It was dizzying.
Right now, my little Lori.
Yes? Lorena's eyes fluttered, her cheeks flushed pale pink.
I want you.
Oh no. Run.
You're all going to hell.
Ah,
It is done.
this is when like the Outlast music starts. Run. For a few moments, it felt as though time had frozen. Even Lorena's heart, secreted away inside her chest, seemed to cease beating. Her lips parted in a neat little O of surprise, like a fairy ring.
Male word chase.
Yeah. Did Toho really mean it? Was she just teasing? Lorena did not know.
I want my money. I want my money.
But
Lori,
she-
I want my money.
But she did know at that moment Toho looked incredibly, unbelievably beautiful.
Damn. Riz.
I
She's shaking. Look at her.
wait, this
Somebody.
isn't Wii Sports.
It is not.
Hang on, I'm reading.
Wait. I gotta turn my TV screen off real quick. Audio only.
What? What?
Mine is getting too excited.
Yep.
Are you still reading,
Ooh.
Ken?
This is you, Toho.
Oh no, so I thought you were reading chat.
Oh, no, I'm good.
What?
Toho's lips curved into an elegant smile.
She's gonna die.
Do you have
Yep.
something you wish to tell me?
Lorena shook her head.
Then, something you want to show me?
She nodded.
And what would that be?
I just realized, I've never properly thanked you for helping me all those times before, and I don't want to be indebted to you anymore, so, here. And with that,
It is done!
we did it.
I don't know about that part.
Lorena pressed her lips firmly against Toho's. The smell of orange peel grew even stronger, almost intoxicating. Lorena's head swam.
Look at the right side of the screen.
What?
Hey, houses in general.
The,
Oh god. I'm cooked.
What's
the
it in
cat's
general?
staring at us.
Toho's lips were soft. Lerna's fingers entwined with Toho, the palms of her hands pressed flush together. Toho could feel her chest pressing up against Toho's. They were so close, there wasn't a single inch of space between them.
Yeah, I can see that.
The taste of Toho's saliva, the warmth of her body, the smell of her skin. It was more intoxicating than Lorena had ever imagined.
Nez says,
Damn, she just dined and dashed me.
Lorena didn't know how she managed to make her way back to
no.
the servants' quarters after that rather
Oh, no.
intense encounter with Toho. She walked through the hallway on unsteady legs that threatened to give out beneath her at any given moment. The 16
I would have
steps,
just buckled.
yeah, steep steps she had to climb to her attic bedroom was a perilous trek indeed, even more dangerous than an expedition to the Arctic. Guys, how much longer is this?
He's done.
Alright, yes.
When Lorena entered her room, still clad in her maid's outfit, her hair rumpled and her cheeks pale pink, she looked so out of sorts, not even Pauline could poke fun at her. But that didn't stop her from being suspicious.
And where on earth have you been?
Oh, Miss Smythe wanted me.
Why is your face red?
You haven't been drinking, have you?
Not the black fluid.
What?
Um,
What black fluid?
yeah, what black fluid?
Is she drinking
Not
fucking
the
oil?
plague.
I don't know.
Oh,
Lorna blinked at Effie, her curiosity momentarily trumping her confusion. What black fluid?
Oh, Rina, you can turn to the bottom of a bottle for solace. My uncle Oscar took to the drink after the death of my aunt Frederica, and he was never the same since.
Lorena appreciated the concern, she supposed, but why did Liselot's concern have to be so very loud and so very Swiss? It was
What?
giving her a headache.
It's a sweet.
Don't worry about me, I'm fine. And I haven't been drinking, for goodness sakes. Just Toho's saliva, which was rather sweeter than Lorena had allowed herself to imagine. Not that she routinely spent time imagining the taste of Toho's saliva, of course.
God.
You look rather unsteady on your legs.
Maybe you should sit down. Really, I'm fine. I think I just feel a bit of a cold coming on. And to further prop up her flimsy lie, Lorena coughed quite feebly into her hands.
Erg.
Erg.
Erg. Egg.
Pauline pulled a face
What a
and
dog.
shifted back in her bed, trying to put as much space between herself and Lorena's phantom pathogens as possible.
If you are sick, make sure you don't infect me.
We don't want your diseases.
We don't like your kind! Sorry. I don't know why I said that.
I'll do
Don't
my
be racist.
best. First
I
Hannah's
hate
getting
French.
cancelled, now mine's. Lorena's head spun, her fingers were trembling, so too was her heart. Maybe she considered weakly it wasn't a lie after all. Maybe she really was sick. She felt sick. Sick in the head. Sick in the heart.
Mm.
Why had she kissed Toho? Why had she come over her? What on earth would her mother say? Her mother? Maybe she should write a letter. That
No, don't
might...
tell your mother.
Sorry?
Never mind, go on.
That might make her feel better, or it could make her feel worse. Knowing Lorena, it would make her feel worse, but she couldn't know until she tried.
Mother, have you ever looked at a statue of Saint Teresa and been like, hey, what about?
This is impossible. Lorena exhaled heavily and ran her hands through her hair. She looked over the letter she had written, frowned, bit her lower lip, struck through the last line she had written on with her quill once, then twice, then thrice, over and over and over again. The nib of the quill bled black ink over the paper, obscuring her introduction. Dear Mother, Ethel, Mary, and Alice. And Lorena sighed again, crumpling the piece of paper between her fingers. This would not do. How on earth would she ever explain this? She didn't understand it herself, so how could she write it down in neat, pretty little words, and to her mother no less? Dear Mother, Tilly and I have become much closer since I last wrote you. In fact, we have become closer than I ever dared to imagine. No! Lorna moaned in defeat and buried her head in her hands.
Stock no sound.
She was not simply close with Toho. Lorna was relatively close with Ada, about as close as their schedules would allow, and Lorna had never felt a peculiar desire to kiss her. It was just not done. So not done, in fact, it deserved to be written with capital letters. I'm such an idiot.
Damn.
Lorena mumbled into her hands. Nobody replied. The other maids were fast asleep. If only Ethel was here, Ethel would have known what to say. Ethel always knew what to say. Though Ethel was only 15, their mother always said she was an old soul in a young body. Lorena thought it a fair comparison. Ethel was popular with the opposite sex. She was a sensible sort of girl, good with managing finances and making ends meet, who would make an inviolable wife. It didn't hurt that she was so very pretty. Prettier than Lorena. She probably had more experience than Lorna did. The baker's son back in Liverpool had been awfully fond of Ethel. As for Lorena, that brief moment she had shared with Toho had been her very first kiss. Why had she done it? Maybe Ethel would have known, but Lorena had no idea how to ask. Lorena took the crumpled sheet of paper, just one failure out of many, and hid it inside her pillowcase with the rest of the false starts. Then she took another piece of paper and began to ponder yet again. Dear Mother, Ethel, Mary, and Alice, I hope you've been well. I have no idea what to say.
Was the knight in shining armor. Sorry.
The 28th of April. Lady Constance was in a foul mood, and for once Lorna didn't blame her. Lorna would have been in a foul mood if Miss Ingrid was her governess too. Not that she'd ever had a governess. Her family was much too poor to afford such a luxury. But a governess like Miss Ingrid, with her eagle eyes and perpetual frowning mouth, did not seem like such a luxury. If anything, she was a curse. Well, if that's everything. Lorna set the pale plate of jam tarts down on the table with trembling fingers. The rim of the plate clinked against the wood surface. Though the sound was slight, the young maid still tensed. The atmosphere in the drawing room was oppressive. The curtains were open, allowing the warm spring sunshine to filter through the air, but Lorna still shivered. There was something about Miss Ingrid's presence, her white skin, her glacial tone, her narrowed eyes that seemed to suck all the heat from her immediate surroundings. Perhaps, Lorna found herself pondering, she was a relative of Reverend Marner's. That would explain a thing or two. Speaking of which, Lorena was not looking forward to church that Sunday. I suppose I will be on my way now. New person, who's gonna voice her?
I'll do the governesses since Miss Amy got killed.
Yeah.
As you should. A maid like yourself has no use here.
I thought as much. Miss Ingrid raised an eyebrow. Her eyebrows were plucked carefully and were just as slender as her lips, almost non-existent.
Did that require a response, maid?
No, Miss Ingrid.
Then do not speak when you are not spoken to. You are dismissed.
Yes. Thoroughly browbeaten, the downtrodden maid turned about. She was ready to exit the drawing room when...
Excuse
I
me.
wish Hannah was here.
Yeah, me
She
too.
didn't reply though.
Excuse me.
Oh god. Someone
Sorry,
reacted
I
to
once more again,
Drenadog's
once more
activity.
again, mines.
What?
Excuse me.
No, I heard you. Hold on. Someone reacted to Drenadog's activity streaming Girl Kiss Her. What is this?
Oh no.
Someone just reacted to you.
Can I show this on the stream? What?
Girl kiss.
Girl kisser.
Lady Constance's voice, impetuous as ever, cut through the air. It was so forceful it almost seemed to part the dust motes.
Miss Ingrid may have sorry. Miss Ingrid may have excused you, maid, but I gave no such commands. Do you place more importance on her words than mine?
Lorena glanced at Lady Constance from beneath her eyelashes, unsure of what expression to settle on. Apologetic, embarrassed, ashamed, Lorena's lips contorted themselves into a confused, complicated frown. Miss Ingrid is of a higher social standing than I am, so...
And I am of higher social standing than her. Isn't that right, Ingrid?
That is Miss Ingrid, if you do not mind.
Well, I do mind.
Lady Constance glared at her new governess. Her eyes were challenging. Mine's...
I said Ingrid.
Oh, I
I?
didn't hear.
I'll say it again. Ingrid.
If you push
Amazing.
this too far, miss, I will have to inform your mother.
Inform her all you like. It makes no difference to me. If you have to talk to my mother about every little thing I do, it will only prove how incompetent you are. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
I have no cause to feel shame. You are the one who should feel shame, miss, for behaving like a child.
What was that?
You might be a lady, but you're still a young girl. You need to be educated to a satisfactory degree, else those in your social sphere, I fear, will call you a dunce. Do you want that?
Lady Constance gritted her teeth together, her eyebrows furrowed.
How dare you?
It is not how dare I, miss, it is how dare you. With all due respect, I am deeply disgusted by your conduct. You have been allowed to do whatever you want for far too long, but that will change henceforth. I will make you change, whether you want to or not. In case you have not realized, I'm rather good at bending little girls to my will, particularly little girls like you, who think they're far more important than they really are.
I am important. I come from far richer family than yours.
Wealth is immaterial if you are morally bankrupt.
Those are high words indeed, coming from a governess.
Oh dear, and now you're losing your temperature? In front of a mere maid, no less. That is no way for a true lady to conduct herself. What do you think?
Lorena hadn't expected to be addressed so suddenly, especially not by a woman who seemed to regard her as some sort of chess piece, a pawn on the board. But even a pawn could become a queen if guided by the hand of an expert player. Was Miss Ingrid trying to use her as a bartering chip?
Well, tell me what you think of your mistress, maid. Or are you so subservient you have grown to fear a 12-year-old girl?
Oh, that stung. Toho had already taken Lorena to task over this. She didn't want Miss Ingrid to join in. I must admit, it is hard to respect somebody when they're so frequently losing their temper. I doubt any of the maids truly see you as their superior, miss.
And there you have it. This is how they see you. How does that make you feel, miss?
She's gonna be executed for saying that. Lady Constance's expression twisted. She looked outraged.
Fuck it! I really, really hate you.
So, like Anakin Star Wars? Yeah. Good.
Joe!
Good.
You
Then
have
perhaps
taken
you'll-
her from me.
Good. Then perhaps you'll put some actual effort into improving your attitude. Try to prove me wrong.
Lorena could not help but be impressed. Though she herself did not like Miss Ingrid, her methods seemed to be most effective. More effective than Miss Amy's in any case. Perhaps with time Miss Ingrid would even be able to shape Lady Constance into a decent human being. Unless Lady Constance killed her first.
Ingrid just looks like blonde swapped Miss Amy. She just came back. She
You're kinda
dyed her hair
right.
and she came back.
She got her abrasive side.
Have you seen Lady Constance's newest governess?
Oh, Miss Ingrid, right?
That's right. I have no idea what to make of her.
She's pretty.
She's a little scary. Who
I
is?
think so too. She scolded me the other day because I did not polish the fireplace in the drawing room sufficiently.
How cruel. I should do like extra
No!
monotone for her. How cruel.
Oh,
Oh, I like that. That's so
No.
much better.
you should actually try to do monotone instead
Yeah.
of just doing your actual voice.
Lancelot threw her arms in the air. She looked peeved. I'll,
I'll
comfort you all you want.
Thank you, Effie. You're so good to me. Oh, it is so frustrating though. What does it even matter? Miss Ingrid was not using the fireplace. She just wanted to scold me, I think.
She scolded me too. She said it was impolite to look at my feet when I spoke to her.
Well, that is what she deserves. I've never seen a more wicked woman.
I am sure she has some good in her deep down inside.
It must be very, very deep down. Oh, God, she's worse than the Witch of Belop.
Sunday
Belop.
morning found 4 of Blythe's maids, Lorena, Lizelot, Effie, and Ada, making their way to St. Mary's. Pauline and Isabel must have left already. As the 4 maids walked
Fuck.
together companionably, Lizelot complained the whole while. Lorena didn't really mind Lizelot's complaints. Her voice, light and lifting, inflected with a Swiss German accent, was rather charming, even when she was in a state of distemper. But Lorena could hardly focus on Lizelot. Her explanation about the Witch of Belap was nothing more than a background hum. The sky up above was bright, peerless blue, studded here and there with fluffy white clouds. The wheat swayed in the breeze, seeming to sigh softly with each motion. The air was soft and sweet, the fragrance of wild flowers and brown dirt mingled together in a rich, hearty aroma. Not quite as rich, however, as the pervading scent of orange peel and bergamot that hung about Toho. Toho. Lorena traced an image of the older maid within her eye. Her black hair, her green eyes, her pale pink lips. Hello.
Someone joined, okay.
Just like the apple blossoms on the trees in the Hartwell's expansive orchard.
Apple blossom trees.
Ha. A deep sigh drew itself from Lorena's breast. Seneca?
Oh? Yes, I remember.
Lancelot looked at Lorena curiously. Her blonde curls fluttered in the breeze, tumbling about her shoulders like a princess.
It was a big sigh, Lorena.
I can't help it.
You should try to help it. My uncle Rudolph always says, when you sigh, you're letting happiness escape from your body.
Lancelot had rather too many uncles and aunts. Lorena could never keep track of them. Instead, the young maid sighed again and wiped her eyes with the back of her arm. Sorry, I'm EP.
You have been looking rather, as in English say, peaky as of late.
Ada peered at Lorena anxiously, her eyes wide. I hope you're not feeling sick. Get well soon.
Robot.
You're awesome.
Truth be told, Lorena was feeling sick, but it was no physical affliction. Rather, the young maid was suffering from a sickness of the heart. Whenever Lorena saw Toho, her cheeks started to flush. The sensation of lips against her own lingered in her mind. And then she forgot everything, even her own name. It was quite the predicament. If Lorena hadn't have known better, she would have thought she was lovesick, but Lorena wasn't in love with Toho. That was ridiculous. She couldn't be. Lorena was much too English to fall in love with another woman. Wasn't she? She didn't know. But Lorena tried to force a smile all the same. Don't worry about me, you three. I appreciate the thought, but I'll be fine.
If you're quite sure.
I just saw punished Amy. If you have any problems, you can talk to me at any time. I know you're not very useful, but I'll try to help. Lorena's smile grew. This time, she did not need to force it.
Wait.
Hello.
Oh.
It was difficult to remain unhappy when she was with Ada.
I
Hang on, let me...
hate the French.
Me too.
Buzz.
Hang on, let me read the chat.
Immediately.
That was a joke, everybody. That was a joke.
That was a joke. No,
It's time to drink water. It's time
No,
to
you're
drink
gonna
water.
scare Faye away. We're gonna scare her away. Don't bring up water.
We're gonna scare Faye away. Does she not drink water?
She does not.
Faye, go drink
Every
some water
time we
right
talk-
now.
Water
It's
right
time to
now.
The
drink
game
water.
won't continue until you drink water.
No.
It's time to drink water.
You wanna do my turn?
We want video proof
It's
that
time
you
to
drank
drink
Yes.
water.
Video proof
Go
of drinking the
drink water.
It's
water.
time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
Glug.
It's time to drink water.
I'll go just run my sink right now in the background for like 5 hours.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
It's time to drink water.
Don't worry, Faye. You may rust, but we'll still love you.
The slight strain in your voice as you forced yourself to say "eepy" while reading "sleepy" was palpable.
I imagine Faye. We throw her in like a bathtub, and she just freaking freaks out like a cat.
Jesus.
like some
Sees
cartoon
water.
cat hovering above the water, like you can't make me. Oh my
And suddenly,
god.
few
Pepsi?
drops of water go down her nose.
Oh gosh.
Zeppies.
Pepsi, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shit,
drink
bounce
water,
off.
not
Katrina.
Pepsi.
There are some people who are allergic to water. I do not think it's you though.
That's insane.
How can you be allergic to water? Wouldn't that kill you?
No.
No, it is possible. It is possible. There have been a few cases. It is extremely hard to
I don't
live
even know.
because I think they have to. You have to put a
It's
thing
like
in your
on your
throat
skin or
to
whatever, right?
get water this way, and
Yeah, I was gonna
yes,
say her
the
skin is
The
allergic.
skin is allergic to water. Yeah, that.
Has
It
Faye
is a
like
symptom.
not showered in like 10
Smart
years?
as fuck. High five.
Water vampire.
Come on. Come on, don't leave me hanging.
His face smelly.
His face
You shower
smells, probably
regularly.
is.
In what? Do you shower in cola or coffee?
Yep.
Shower in
Showers
No,
in Monster
She goes to
Energy.
the Lake Pepsi. She goes to the Lake
The
Pepsi.
water
she visits
just the
Mama.
water just can't stay on for too long.
Yep.
I don't care. I don't care.
Like, what happens? Do you become like, what is it, like,
What you
spongy?
think- What you think like she's like a paper straw and then you just shrivel?
Yeah, she just
It's like
like
that meme with salt.
wither away.
Yep. Alright.
Faye is like real life Wicked Witch of the West. You drop water.
Yep.
I make myself
Oh
suffer
no,
the
I
remake. Yeah. Do you melt like the Wicked Witch from the West? That would make a lot of sense.
Thanks, that really means a lot to me, really. But how would her mood fare when she crossed the threshold of St. Mary's? Lorena hardly dared to imagine. Still no Eric, damn.
Ah, okay, me.
Yeah, you go
Let
ahead.
us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of our faith.
It was a miserable thing indeed, Lorena mused, to sit silently through a Sunday service while convinced she was going to go to hell. Lorena had never once considered kissing another woman before, even as an idle whim, so why? Why had she done it? She did not know the answer to that herself, and it was beginning to upset her.
Having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Also, technically, being gay is not against religion, I think, in
Sorry,
Bible.
what is
so being gay is not against the Bible, as far as I remember. I think.
Hmm.
So she's not committing any sin. So
Yeah.
she's fine
Did she have an evil
Oh.
conscience?
nowadays.
Lorena wasn't sure. Yeah, I don't know, like things were,
Nowadays.
you know,
Nowadays.
at my church, they apparently used to be like segregated where you need to like pay to take like the Eucharist, but they have since changed it, so yeah.
I don't know nothing about religion and religion and all that shizazz and shizoozle, but I do believe in God.
Hmm. I feel
It
like a
was-
lot of people say that. I respect that, you know?
It was probably.
I
a
believe
bad
in something.
idea.
I mean, if I didn't
Yeah.
believe in something, I'd be going fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was probably a bad idea
Yes,
segregating the church for boys and girls, and then
Mhm.
sticking all the girls like me with the other girls.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, that
cause
will work
then,
for
cause
you.
then, cause then you guys start stealing them, and there's none left for people like me.
You can have all the boys we left.
No,
Dude, don't
I
turn into
want
don't turn
them.
into Spaz here, minds. All right, that's like what he said. He
What?
doesn't like
No.
lesbians because
with
they
him,
take
again
women
with,
away from men, but he does like gay men because they take other men away from women, so less competition.
What? That guy was calling people pedophiles. and
Yeah,
shit.
he's pretty unhinged.
Just
I
cause,
wonder if
listen,
he's watching
just
this. You
cause
think-
I might have
no.
the same view as him doesn't mean that I'm him.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we
He
banned
classed
him,
with Dren.
so
Yeah.
Okay?
he cannot watch it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Double
that.
pulled the trigger.
Mm-hmm. It was true she had a bit of a temper on her, and sometimes she would curse under her breath or take the Lord's name in vain, but that was not so very wicked, was it? Even her mother, who was one of the most upstanding Christian women Lorena knew, had cause to curse on occasions, generally when a customer refused to pay a fair sum, or she poked herself in the finger with the tip of the sewing needle. But there was a what did I say?
Showing neither.
Sewing neither.
Neither.
But there was a difference
Needle.
between one or two
Oh, yeah.
vulgarities and a shared kiss between two women. On the lips, no less. Oh God.
For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins.
Lorena knew her conduct had been poor, but she had been unable to help herself. In that moment, despite knowing what was wrong and what was right, she had wanted more than anything to kiss Toho. She had wanted it so badly it was like a physical ache. Merely remembering it was embarrassing. But the most embarrassing point of all was Lorena wasn't ashamed. She felt guilty, yes, and something inside her breast told her she had done ill, but she did not regret it. If given another chance, she would have kissed Toho again. She wanted to kiss her even now.
But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and a fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. I need to be better than this.
Even if it would make the whole world revile and turn against her. Lorena didn't care. Over the course of the last month, Toho had been her only ally at Bly. While Ada and Lizelot were kind in their own way, they were incapable of standing up to Lady Constance or to Pauline and Isabel. Toho was different. Lorena trusted the older woman. She knew when Toho claimed she would do something, she did it, and that made her a reliable ally. Was that why she had kissed her then? Was it ceremonial to cement their newfound understanding? But that didn't seem quite right either.
And again, the Lord shall judge his people.
So she would be judged. Did that matter overly much? Lorena couldn't help how she felt, though she didn't fully understand what her feelings were. And yet, though it was frowned upon, Lorena didn't see why it should be so very sinful. During the last 3 years of being in service, Lorena had been unable to pursue what she wanted. She had been bound by the orders and instructions of others to such an extent that when Arthur Pickering cornered her in the library and told her she had pretty eyes of all things, the young girl shook her head. She didn't want to think about that. She wouldn't think about that. She just wanted, for the first time in 3 years, to do something for her own sake. To do something that made her happy. Yes, it was true. Being with Toho made her happy.
But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul.
Now, why should a merciful Lord begrudge her for that? Alright, thank you. Hang on, let me read chat real quick.
Could be declared. Wait, mine wasn't
It was
declared.
me.
This is my OC.
He has no face.
What do they look like?
Exactly.
No, wait,
Me.
Faye
They
has
look
no
like me.
face.
Thank you.
Faye has, it's Faye then. And,
Yeah, well, Faye doesn't have a voice.
Theology class
Dude.
with Dren.
surely you don't want me to TS this. I want you. You gave us a great idea. Do this.
No, I'm not doing that. I don't share my like, I don't know, I don't go out of my way to like share my religious or like political views. I feel like that would be stupid of me in the position I'm in, you know? Like,
Agreed.
my thoughts on these things are no more valid than anybody else's.
But we do hate the French.
Yes, that is true.
I dislike them, but I do not hate them.
I hate the French.
Nope.
I would rather be French than Spanish, and I will say nothing more.
Either I'm going insane or Dren is constantly saying breast. Apparently, it's saying it a lot in the dialogue. What is she?
Ren is
Some
not
kind
the
of
only
gay?
one being haunted. Jen is also being haunted and now can only
Yep.
think of her bird breast.
Yep.
The loneliness is getting to him.
Alright.
I don't know.
You too.
That's base as fuck.
My
What is?
fucking god! These bitches gay!
What the fuck?
Where's
The heck is this?
Lorena exited the post office. As usual, the bell above the door jingled. It had taken Lorena longer to post her letter than she had thought. The queue had been unusually large that day, held up by a woman insistent on shipping a parcel filled with dairy goods to Bath. The poor clerk behind the counter had argued with the woman until he was blue in the face, pointing out over and over again that such shipments were against standard protocol. Lorena quite agreed. What was the point in trying to send perishables through the postal service, and to Bath no less? Perhaps the woman was trying to kill the intended recipient. She had certainly managed to waste 20 minutes of Lorena's life. 20 minutes she wasn't going to get back. During that time, Lorena had wondered whether she should send her letter at all. She hadn't gone into great detail about her relationship with Tilly, but that wasn't for lack of trying. Lorena had attempted most gallantly to explain the situation, but she couldn't. It was far too confusing. Everything felt confusing as of late. Oh, why was she so stupid? And if Lorena's intelligence needed any further questioning... Oof.
Oh my, we must really stop meeting like this.
She just had to walk into Toho. Of course she did. That was how these things worked. Lorena took a few shocked, shuffling steps backward and blinked at Toho in surprise. Why are you here? It sounded more accusatory than Lorena intended.
Why shouldn't I be here? Am I doing something wrong?
No, but... The wind stirred and Toho's dark hair fluttered gently in the breeze. Lorena stared. She could not stop herself.
I know I am undeniably attractive, my little Lori, but you do not need to look at me so quite intensely. I fear you'll burn a hole
Oh.
through my head.
Shit. Sorry. That wasn't the intention. What are you doing here this week? And did it, Lorena wondered, have anything to do with the with the curious case she had been carrying the previous Sunday?
I just want to make an inquiry, that's all.
What about?
Something precious. An heirloom.
Heirloom?
Yes, it's an item that was given to me a while ago by somebody very important. I thought the string needed tuning, so I took it for repairs in last week. You might have seen me carrying it.
Ah, that case.
That case indeed.
So what was in it? Some kind of instrument?
Indeed. I always knew you were a clever girl.
You could have told me that when I asked.
But what about the mystery?
Not everything needs to be a mystery.
Why don't we try a riddle then? What kind of instrument do you think it might be?
Well, you said it had strings, so a violin maybe?
Incredible! You're smarter than you look.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. Lorena frowned. But violins are expensive, aren't they?
Indeed they are. Mine was made in Cremona almost 80 years ago.
Cremona?
In Italy, the craftsmanship is first rate. So is the sound. It's very precious. Not just subjectively, but objectively too.
That's incredible. Lorena didn't know much about music, but she knew enough to realize that a genuine Italian violin would cost a horrendous amount of money. Instruments were not toys any person could pick up and play with. Only the rich could afford such luxuries, for that was what music was. That's true, you know, back then. It's like, can you imagine like living life and never hearing music? Like that was kind of the norm throughout human history when you think
What
about
the
it. Aside from like your friends singing, you know? But you
Like
wouldn't
a
hear
nice-
sorry?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like a nice
The-
violin was like a luxury, but like
Yeah.
fiddles were the poor person instrument. That's how we
Yeah.
got a lot of music from
Yeah.
Europe to North America. Is because it was one of the few instruments that you could just like pack up and carry and travel with. So fiddles were made very inexpensively, which is why a proper made violin was so well like sought after because it was just in a mix of like others.
A luxury. Once more, Lorena was reminded of Toho's offhand comment of a handful of days ago.
It's like the Mozart opera, The Marriage of Figaro, you know?
The more Lorena learnt about Toho, the more curious she became. Toho's past sprawled out behind her like a labyrinth. Lorena was beginning to wonder whether she should keep a spool of thread to hand when they converse so she could better navigate herself. How were you able to afford something like that?
I didn't. It was given to me.
Whoever it was must have liked you a lot to give you something so costly.
I believe she liked me well enough, yes. Do you want me to show you? I can if you're interested.
Well, if you don't mind.
If I minded, I wouldn't have offered, silly.
It was a good point. This was a rare opportunity. Lorena didn't want to let go. She didn't know when she would have another chance. She wanted to learn more about Toho. She was almost desperate. Maybe this violin was the key? Lorena, hold on, let me read the chat. Time traveling back to show a Victorian child Vocaloid, vaporizing them on the spot. Lorena found herself sitting in a parlor at a wooden table. Toho sat to her left, one leg folded across the other, her dark hair falling across her shoulders. On the opposite side of the table were two young women who looked curiously familiar. One of the women had dark hair tied in two neat buns. The other, meanwhile, seemed to be around Ethel's age, so maybe girl would be more fitting. Her hair was blonde, her lips were soft, and her skin was fair. I met you after church that one time. Strange woman, who's gonna voice her? Wait, which one is talking? This one?
I think the tall one is Strange Woman, if I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think we learned her name. Who wants to voice her?
I can voice her, I just might end up talking to myself. which I guess I'm fine with.
Does anyone else want to do it?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, Cathedral?
do I voice?
Yeah. Do you
sure.
want to?
You have to give me a second to die and leak real quick. I'm losing, so it's fine.
Okay.
Alright. What am I reading?
Strange woman.
Oh, woman. Alright, do I gotta match the tone
Dude,
here?
yeah, me too, bro. Trust me.
It's up to you how much voice acting you want to do, if any.
It is a pleasure.
The older woman beamed, clapping her hands together.
I did wonder when I'd be able to sit down and have a proper conversation with you, Lorena. Lorena? Sorry. In my opinion, it'd be better if we didn't bother.
This was Kit Kat, I think.
No,
Kit
this was
Kat.
Mine's. Mine's is the
Oh,
sassy
okay.
bratty one.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Max.
You sassy bratty one?
Yeah. Dude, I'm basically the villain character of the whole
Yep.
story. I've got all the
Appreciate it.
annoying characters and stuff. In my opinion, it would be better if we didn't bother.
Oh, then I'm the strange one? Alright.
Yep.
Oh, hush, Emil.
Now utterly confused, Lorena glanced curiously about her surroundings. The curtains and carpet were a rich, wine-red hue, and the furniture seemed to be made of oak. It all looked very expensive. Lorena sniffed. The air smelt homey, of chamomile tea and books, old books.
Hey, what are you sniffing? Why are you sniffing the air like a dog? Are you trying to insult us?
Oh. Lorena started. The sullen blonde, Emily was it, was glaring at her. Her glare was so intense. One could have been forgiven for assuming Lorena had barged into her home, uninvited, and vomited on her shoes. I'm sorry.
You should be. What are you, a dog?
My little Lori is many things, but she is not a dog.
Mom spaghetti.
He's big.
Isn't you cute Cuppy? I cannot say that name.
We call her
Or Toho.
Toho,
Oh,
Yeah, that's what we've
Yeah.
got.
like the game.
Alright, yeah. The game?
Yeah.
There's a
No.
game?
Yeah, there's a game called Toho.
Yeah, what's Toho?
Okay. Yeah,
Toho,
right?
like the bullet hell?
Oh,
Never heard
No.
of it.
Terraria?
yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah, if you've never heard of Cinderella, I've never heard of Toho, weirdo.
What?
Yeah, he's never heard of Cinderella.
No, I've heard of it, but I don't like
Or he's
know
never heard
the story in
He
depth.
doesn't know the story. It's so simple. It's such a simple story. Like, really, it is. All it really boils down to is evil lady who is a bitch the whole time
Mm.
and
Like
manipulates.
I've seen Shrek, and that's all I know about her.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that works.
Glass slipper on foot, that whole thing.
Yep.
Okay, that
Yep.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. No.
Pumpkin
not yet.
carriage.
Thank you. No, not yet at any rate.
Oh my, but you seem so well trained already. The way she followed you in here, all lost and confused, were particularly adorable.
I enjoyed it when she almost tripped over her own feet.
Ah yes, that was very cute too. Delightfully charming.
Excuse me, can you stop talking about me like I'm not here?
Oh, I apologize. Duly noted.
You don't sound very apologetic.
You know me too well.
Lorena sighed. Now why had she wanted to get closer to Toho again? The whole thing was more trouble than it was worth. So, what are your names?
Oh yes, I should have introduced myself sooner. My name is Theodora, and this is my younger sister, Emily? Emily.
Emil. I just said Emily.
Would make sense. Emily. Yeah, that would make sense. Emily. Emily, yes. A
Please,
pleasure.
Emily,
I just had to sound it out just to make sure.
Right. Lorena had never met anybody who made that phrase sound less pleasurable before in her life.
Okay, I just won't speak again.
Fedora and Emily, was it? She would try to remember that. And how do you know who I am?
You don't look so suspicious, dear. There's nothing underhanded afoot, I promise. Lies.
I'll decide that for myself when you tell me the truth.
The truth, hmm?
The older woman pondered, her head tilted to one side.
You see, Tahoe is a dear friend of my family. I've known her for quite some time. Since she was even younger than my adorable little sister, in fact. She told Emily and myself all about you already, on numerous occasions. Though we'd not been formally introduced before, I knew you on sight. Tahoe is quite taken with you after all.
Taken? Lorena blinked, her cheeks flushed. What on earth did that mean?
Toho has always been overprotective. She was worried some of the maids were mistreating you. She asked us to keep an eye out. I didn't want to help. I thought it sounded like a pain, but I've known Toho for a while, so I thought I might as well. It's the honorable thing to do.
Kit Kat?
Sorry, I altered out
This
for a
line is
second.
perfect. No, this line is perfect.
My, Emily, you've become such a gentleman.
What do you mean by that? Shut up.
But your tongue remains as crude as ever.
Oh, I'm always saying she could stand to work on her manners.
And how is the work on my violin progressing? Do you have any news?
Been a week, Tahoe. You didn't think the repairs would be finished in a scant 7 days, did you?
God created the world in 6.
Marvelous though it may be, I'm not God. Not even I would go that far.
How humble.
I'm incredibly humble.
I understand these things can take a while, and yet...
You would rather I cut corners, increasing the speed of reduction but reducing the quality?
No, I suppose not. But
Toho made a show of pouting and traced the top of the table with her fingertip.
that violin is my baby. I've had it for more than a decade. I'm protective of it.
Does that mean you don't trust me?
Of course I trust you, but our mothers get a bit broody when they can't see their babies.
The bond between a musician and an instrument is a wonderful thing. I'm so lucky my line of work allows me to see such passion on a daily basis.
You exaggerate. You don't have that many like customers.
It's hardly my fault that residents of this village are Philistines who don't appreciate a good concerto.
You would make so much more money if you moved to London. I don't know why you insist on being so stubborn.
These are my favorite parts when I can just click and you guys read for me.
Lazy motherfucker.
Because this is our father's business, and our grandfathers before him. Wouldn't be so callous as to abandon our family ties, would you? What of our root?
I don't care for roots. I would rather go to London. When I think of all the pretty dresses I could buy there and the parties I could attend,
You're too spoiled, Emmy.
there's no such thing.
I think there is. I bought you too many gifts. I lavish you with love and affection, and for what? For you to tell me you'd rather move to London, of all places.
But it's boring here.
And what do you suppose our dear mother and father would do when they return from Zanzibar, and discover we have sold their house and moved to the city?
You're being awfully optimistic, assuming their return is still a given. It's been more than 5 years.
Oh, my little Emmy, so cynical.
Get off me! Stop prodding my cheeks! Help! Help!
But I want to. I'm your sister. Aren't I allowed?
Help! No, no, not in front of the guy.
Please don't worry your pretty little head about me, Emily. I have no qualms about watching cute girls squirm.
What? Why you?
Emily batted her sister's fingers away and shot Toho a glare strong enough to wither roses.
You really are awful, Toho. My sister's always a nuisance, but she's even worse when she sees you.
We just have similar tastes, that's all. It is a pleasure to converse with like-minded individuals.
Yes, indeed. Yet to find out the person who shares my pure, honest, heartfelt feelings for cute girls.
They're both gay?
Ooh.
Hello.
I was talking about the music, actually, but I
Oh.
suppose that also works.
Shit.
Caught you.
I felt like that felt so directed towards me for a second. Sorry.
Theodora, whom Lorena was beginning to suspect was something of a fool, laughed sheepishly.
I knew that.
Of course you did, dear sister, of course.
A soft breeze caught the curtain, so they fluttered. Lorena could see individual particles of dust dancing in the air, flickering like fairies. What would it be like to own a house like this, all to herself? Lorena didn't know. She couldn't imagine it. She'd been much too poor for the majority of her life to even contemplate such a thing.
My little Lori, is something wrong?
Mines asked, is it almost over?
Bro, stop calling me out. I'm
Lor-
not ready.
Lorena sighed. Not ready for what?
For it to be over.
I'm ready for this to be over.
I didn't want to say it.
Well, I don't know. Like, I've
I'm just
enjoyed
getting
playing
bored.
this
It
with
said
you
yes.
guys, but
It
it's
said
like
yes.
it's longer than I thought, and I am getting kind of like, man, I kind of want to just play something else
Only-
at this point, you
Only
know?
because my little brother's over and I don't want to be loud.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
I'm fine.
We can either push through this one, I think we might be able to finish it up, or we can try again for next week.
I feel like just speedrunning to the end of this today.
Running.
Alright, let's do it.
Everybody, talk fast. Don't even.
If you're really fine with it, you
an
wouldn't be
effort
pulling such a
anymore.
face.
Yes. Yes.
What face?
Like you've just seen a beloved family pet get hit by a carriage.
You're reading into it too deeply. I'm fine, I promise.
And you're not jealous, are you?
Jealous of what?
I'm not sure. Perhaps you should tell me
She
what.
said you're jealous of what?
There are many things I could be jealous about, but jealousy is a sin, and it's not a productive way to spend my time.
Well, if you're sure, I was worried you might be envious of my relationship with these two lovely ladies.
No.
So you're not?
Not at all.
Not even a little bit?
Lorena shook her head. Toho smiled.
I need to give you an award for this shit.
Well, good. It would be foolish to be jealous. My relationship with these women is one of business. I've been customer of Theodora's for quite some time, and their Theodora is Emily is never far away.
That was a good one. Good job, kid.
Alright, we don't actually have to speedrun the whole thing.
Yeah, I was gonna
If
say
it's
you
gonna,
don't
like,
have
ruin
to
it for
speed
people.
It was good for the
That was
bit.
good.
It was
Yeah.
good
That
for
was
the
good for the bit. That was
I
good.
couldn't keep up with that speed personally.
Yeah.
You need to take a couple of those clips and put those in the devlog. That's what you need to do. You need to put this in the devlog. Like
This would be
you know,
funny.
you're talking and then just out of nowhere a clip that one of these clips just starts playing and then you're going
Yeah.
back to you're like, huh, that was weird. Well, anyways, and then you talk again.
I need to
It's
edit
like-
together
Play
Hannah
Yuri.
Hates French People first.
Yeah, it's like Tren waking up with the Skyrim opening. Like, it's this playing, and then he wakes up with the Skyrim opening, and then the actual devlog starts.
Yes. Yes. Like the whole first 9 minutes is just BlackBerry clips.
Yeah.
I had your father appraise my violin. I was hardly seeking his approval for a future wedding.
I actually might put Blackberry Honey in the devlog, I'm not sure. Because like in the last one I
Yeah.
mentioned like games that I played and stuff like that. So, I don't know.
Not even that. Not
We
even
don't-
that. Bro. Like we're cooking.
Yeah.
You.
Wait a second.
This is
Listen.
this is Chef Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen with his Michelin 5 stars.
Listen, if you put Blackberry Honey into the next devlog, you're gonna have a second lesbian wife, and I am not sure if
Yeah.
we can withstand that.
Hmm.
Having
Maybe
Sanuka, his
Well,
Reverend
in the
Martyr
look, in the
voice.
first devlog, I literally opened with "Hello and welcome back to Lesbian Death Stranding." That like
Yeah.
sends
Yeah.
a stronger message than if it was like one little thing at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh no, Ellen, you don't have to include my cooking. That's fine.
Yeah, no, include
Oh.
her cooking for sure.
We can make
Especially
the grilled
toast.
cheese
How
and
did you do
Easter egg
that?
for the game.
How did you do that to that toast? That
Okay.
poor toast. And those eggs.
I was simply testing its limitations.
Whoa, did she die?
She did die.
She's
She
dead.
said,
Theodora collapsed back against her chair, one hand held on her quivering bosom.
my butt.
Wait, hold on, let me prep for this. I gotta do the
You're good,
British
you got
accent
this.
again. I fear my heart will break. I cannot go on. This world has not been kind to me. Now I must depart.
Hmm.
If you do decide to snuff it, would you kindly reimburse me beforehand? I don't pay people for unfinished work.
Theodora sniffled, wiping imaginary tears from the corners of her eyes.
You drive a hard bargain.
It's the best way to get things done.
My sister is very talented at her craft, but she is unforgivably lazy. You need to give her a prod every once in a while, or she will fall into inertia.
You don't need to prod too hard. Having a adorable little sister around who demands only the finest clothes and ribbons for her hair is incentive enough to work.
Toho tapped her fingers
Have you
against the
seen me?
inside of her arm.
Don't you see the drip?
It ain't immaculate.
It has been a week, Theodora.
And I already told you it'll take longer than a week. I know your violin is important to you. You've brought it in for maintenance enough times, and I don't want to rush it. We're hoping you discover. We're hoping. Oh, were you hoping to discover something new by returning here so soon?
Not particularly. I just want to show off my baby.
What? That's not what that said.
What?
Go off. It's called improv.
Now
Yes,
I know
she
that
referred to
sounds
the
bad.
violin as her baby repeatedly.
Mm.
Anyways, I thought my little Lori might be interested in seeing my
Oh.
violin. It is my pride and joy, after all, and I enjoy letting others gaze upon it.
You make it sound like something indecent. Hey,
How is a mother showing off her baby indecent? There can be nothing purer.
speaking of baby.
They can look but not touch, hmm?
Indeed, you are the only one other than myself who's permitted to fondle something so precious.
And she says our relationship is strictly business. What am I, strumpet?
Sometimes I do wonder.
Emmy? Are you trying to damage my reputation?
You damage it enough yourself, sister. When you drink too much gin and then start swearing like a sailor.
That's a secret!
It's alright, Theodora. I know all about your vices already.
I don't have any vices. I'm as pure as the driven snow.
You don't want to discount the gin. Or if you want to discount the gin.
And the cussing.
She doesn't even go to church every single Sunday.
How scandalous!
Says you. You don't go to church at all.
I'm sure our Father up in heaven, hallowed be his name, etc., etc., won't mind if I miss a sermon or two here and there. Nobody's perfect.
Least of all you.
Wow. There are many areas I'm deficient in, but caring for instruments is not one of them. In fact, I shall prove it. You can judge this yourself, Lorena.
Who, me?
That's right. Tahoe came here to finish off her baby, did she not? I'll go and fetch it for her.
Finish off her baby.
God, bro.
But,
You
but,
didn't have to say it again.
I don't know anything about music.
Fine, you don't understand how fine art to appreciate it. If you have eyes, you'll see what I mean soon enough.
And just as Theodora had said... Wow. Lorena
What a
blinked
word.
at the instrument, sitting innocuously on the table. The sunlight streamed in through the open window, playing across the wooden casing so it shimmered. Its casing was a soft, nutty brown with reddish hues running through it, and it contrasted beautifully with the dark black of the ebony neck. The violin was round in shape, soft, almost feminine somehow, and practically seemed to invite caresses from wandering fingertips.
The gay violin?
Sorry?
Nothing, I'm just messing it up. The gay violin?
Yeah. It was the
gay
kind.
violin?
Yep. It was the kind of instrument that begged to be played, even by a clumsy girl like Lorena, who could not have coaxed a single note out of it, let alone a soaring concerto. Though its delicate hourglass-shaped body was marked here and there with small scratches, it was an undeniable work of art. Lorena felt almost humbled to imagine the hands that must have pored over the creation of such a precise, perfect object of beauty almost. How old had Toho said it was? More than a century? It was incredible, really, that the instrument had survived for such a protracted period of time, particularly given how thin the neck looked. It was just like the stem of a flower. It must have been cared for tenderly. That was probably why the maple wood was marked here and there with scuffs. It was not because the violin was unloved. In fact, it was quite the opposite. The violin was scarred precisely because Toho cared for it so deeply that she continued to play it. If you loved something, you did not simply let it sit in a corner and gather dust. True love was only displayed by continued use, and this violin had been used frequently. But that only made it all the more attractive. It really is beautiful.
Indeed it is. I knew you would understand, my little Lori.
It's a true work of art. Any collector would kill to have it in their collection.
Literally kill?
Yes, quite literally. There are few things in life worth committing murder over, but a violin like this. To end another life in a jet of crimson for the sake of such fine specimen. I can understand that perfectly.
Emily observed her sister with narrowed eyes. Much like Queen Victoria, she did not look amused.
I know you've been eyeing it up for a while, sister.
Hey, don't make insinuations about my trustworthiness, Emmy. I'll never steal an instrument from a client.
You better not, Theo, or I would hurt you.
I wouldn't.
A lot.
Theodora gulped. Lorena had to admit there was something rather troubling about Toho's statement. Her wide smile didn't really help. Emily, for her part, remained unmoved by the thought of her sister's impending demise.
If you do get hurt, sister, you deserve it. You act like an old man chasing the ankles of a pretty young girl. Chit?
What? What does that mean?
No clue.
It's like
No
Victoria's
clue.
time.
Chit.
It's slang.
Oh, well, I'm gonna
Slang
say it
for
again.
what?
Chit.
How to describe it? Because the sentence was young girl like chit.
Probably
Improper.
like.
Yeah, it's an improper term.
Hmm.
Your head just gets big.
She's so desperate, it's almost endearing.
Sister is always desperate.
Linda. You're the only kid here, you sauce box. Not very pretty when you're being so obnoxious.
Ow.
Emily winced as Theodora delivered a swift jab of retribution upon her blonde crown.
I'll admit it, I would love to earn something this beautiful, but isn't that natural? We humans live our lives hoping to possess as many beautiful objects as possible. What other purpose is there in life other than to accrue riches? Okay, that word.
You're not Gilgamesh, sister.
And I never will be at this rate.
Is that violin really worth so much?
You have no idea.
No, I don't. That's why I asked.
Okay. You're actually Lorena, like.
Am I?
Yeah.
Actual sass.
Well, let me put it this way. Uh-oh.
The group of four glanced back down at Toho's violin. Does anyone else think the Dren model goes cross-eyed sometimes? Does it? I wonder,
It's not
like,
going.
when I
it's
look
not
at
like,
my
it's not like you're
phone,
going cross-eyed. It's like you're blinking, or like you're winking.
I can't see
Yeah.
because when I look at, this is where my eyes are when I look at my monitor, or sorry, my model on my left monitor. So I literally can't see. The sleek, nutty case shimmering as it caught in the dispersed beams of sunlight. Lorena had thought Toho was joking when she called it her baby. Now she could see where such a term of endearment had come from. If Lorena had possessed something so precious, she would have babied it too.
It's no Stradivarius, but it would fetch quite a handsome sum on the market. A genuine Italian violin far from fire Cremona.
Where we lay our scene.
That was Verona.
Forgive me, I'm not too well versed in the works of the bard.
A violin from Cremona made by a skilled artisan more than a century ago. It is a very desirable piece. In fact, Tahoe asked my father to appraise it for her about, more than a decade ago, I believe.
Don't say that, Theodora. You shouldn't reveal a lady's age.
I don't even know how old you are. You haven't seemed to age a day.
Hmm.
Demon.
I
The
feel
vampire.
like being mysterious.
How you have such a violin is a mystery indeed. Father was shocked when he saw it. Nearly fell off his chair. Grandfather too. I don't think it was a coincidence that he keeled over only a scant 2 months after he first met you. Father had a collector in London for a second opinion to ensure his estimations were correct. And do you know what the collector said, Lorena?
What? Lorena already knew before the words fell from Theodora's lips. She knew it, but hearing it out loud made it seem even more real somehow. Inarguable. But dizzyingly improbable.
It's worth more than £600.
God.
$1 million.
1 billion
It is a lot.
smackaroons.
I still can't believe it.
If people want quality, that's the price they're willing to pay, I suppose.
And I only earn
Agreed.
£10 per annum. Lorena sighed. Even if I worked until the day I died, I'd never be able to make that much money. Not through honest means. That's obscene.
It does seem unfair when you phrase it like that, but that is how commerce works.
Bruh.
What are you talking about?
That violin is special, unique, a real work of art. You, on the other hand, my little Lori. Let's just say there's no shortage of desperate girls in need of a few bob to rub together. If you stopped working for Lady Leonard, she would be able to find a replacement for you in due course.
And the violin?
It is a rare treasure, being one of few surviving violins that was produced in Cremona in the 1700s. It couldn't be replaced if it was lost or damaged because its worth is proportional to where it was made, who made it, and how old it is. That cannot be replicated.
It's nice to know how little I'm worth in comparison to a block of wood.
Hmm.
A very pretty, well-crafted block of wood.
A block of wood nonetheless.
You're oversimplifying, my dear little Lori.
Don't call me that.
You've told me that before, but that hasn't stopped me.
Hmm.
Toho smiled, a soft smile without cruelty, and ruffled the top of Lorena's head. Lorena's hair was very thick and satisfying to ruffle, and Toho's fingers snuck into it. Naturally, Lorena didn't appreciate this gesture of affection. Get off me.
I apologize. You look so cute when you're grumpy. I couldn't help myself.
Why do you think I'm grumpy?
Oh, I don't know. Because I have in my possession an item that could make my fortune should I choose to sell it, as Theodora has suggested many, many times before.
Still pouting, Lorena began to pat down her loose strands of disheveled hair. The sun, warm and red, perfectly round in the bright blue sky, beat down against her skin. The dark fabric of Lorena's uniform was far too hot. She felt like her skin was going to blister. Perhaps that was another reason why she felt so dispirited. Lorena usually enjoyed the winding countryside walk back to Bly, but right now, tampering across the uneven ground, skirts in her hand, was a pain. It was even more irritating now Lorena was walking with Toho, who, given her long, willowy limbs, was able to cover more ground than Lorena and far more gracefully. Was she trying to show off? Evidently, it wasn't enough that Toho had her own private bedroom, an inner sanctum within the walls of a hostile, inhospitable land she called her own. She also had a hefty nest egg she could rely on, that violin, Italian crafted in Cremonia. Where on earth had Toho come by such a rare find? She'd called it an heirloom, but if her family owned such a thing, they must have been on par with dukes and duchesses. Why then was
I got you,
Toho
Ollie.
working as a maid? Why don't you sell your silly violin? Lorena muttered it mutinously under her breath, but she wasn't discreet enough.
I think it's mutinously, but brother, I have no
Shut
fucking
up.
clue.
Toho still heard her.
Are you suggesting that I sell my precious baby, little Lori?
Yes, I am. It's the only logical thing to do, isn't it?
And what's so logical about it? Would you care to elucidate?
Well, it's obvious. You don't like your job. In fact, you said you hated Lady Constance, and I don't think you much care for Lady Leonard either. If you sold that violin, you could leave Bly behind and live a life of luxury. You wouldn't need to work. You wouldn't even need to work. You could go to your beloved London and wear fine clothes and attend the opera. There's all of the Mozart you could ever want or need out there. Whereas here... Lorena glanced about the cornfields and threw her arms to demonstrate. There's nothing here at all. No hopes, no dreams, no anything. Lorena's chest heaved up and down. Her throat felt dry. It was rare of her to speak her mind like that. After working in domestic service for so long, she had forgotten how. It didn't behoove a maid to say what she was thinking, so Lorena tried not to. She squashed her thoughts and feelings down into the soles of her shoes, and trampled them into the dirt. Out of sight, out of mind. But it was different with Toho. When Lorena was with Toho, her throat became unstuck, and she found herself saying all kinds of things. Curt, blunt, rude things. But Lorena couldn't help herself. Toho drew it out of her. She made Lorena act more like herself than anything else.
I do understand what you're saying, my little Lori, and you raise some good points. There isn't a great deal out here, what with all these flat, boring fields. It's a dull corner of the country, and only a dull kind of life can be had here. Though some of the scenery is pretty, I suppose. I fear I'm not made for such a humdrum manner of existence.
Then why do you continue to stay here?
I don't know. I wonder that myself sometimes. Maybe I have simply grown accustomed to it. I've been working at Bly for quite some time now, and maybe this is the way it should be. It's the life she chose for me, after all.
She?
Lady Whittier.
Who?
It's not important. She's dead now. Has been for a while.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. You did nothing to cause this sorry state of affairs. You didn't kill Lady Whittier.
No, but it sounds like she was important to you.
She was. Very.
So the violin?
Her last gift to me. A very valuable gift. I couldn't thank her enough for it back then, and I certainly can't now. It's too late.
And is that why you haven't sold it?
Indeed. I'm rather attached. The nostalgia is worth more than any amount of gold.
Even 600 pounds?
Yes, much more than that.
I don't believe it.
My. I didn't realize you were so materialistic. I fear I may be more sentimental than you.
It isn't like that. You're making me sound so callous. I care about money, that's all. You have to when you've never had much of it.
I know. I'm just teasing. I know our positions in life aren't exactly the same, and I can understand you being offended by my laissez-faire attitude to money. I hope I haven't offended you.
I'm not offended, I just...
Jest?
It's really annoying.
I'm annoying?
Yes, incredibly annoying.
That didn't stop you from kissing me.
That was just, I was tired.
Tired, is it?
That's right.
And does your exhaustion usually manifest in the act of kissing pure, defenseless maidens, my little Lori?
Pure and defenseless?
Pure and defenseless indeed.
Sure.
Don't you sure me, Lori. I was surprised. I'll be spoilt for marriage now.
Aren't you already too old to get married?
How rude. Just how old do you think I am, little madame?
I'm not sure. Judging by the way you talk, about 40?
40? Well, I never. All of the nerve.
What are you gonna do about it? Hit me with your walking stick?
No, but I will do
Oh god.
this.
The sequel?
What? What are you... But Lorena wasn't able to finish her inquiry. She could not finish because Toho pushed her hard. Lorena teetered for a few precarious moments, hovering awkwardly on the balls of her feet. Time seemed to slow while her hair fluttered in the breeze, her skirts dancing about her legs until... Kya! With a loud scream that made the nearby crows scatter, Lorena was thrown off her balance and toppled over backwards into the running river. Oh god. I
Hey,
thought this was
yo!
like PG-13.
Let's go.
She lost all her clothes in the river.
I don't remember it was anyone here underage. Was there anyone?
I think we're good.
Look,
Yeah?
children, avert your eyes.
Okay.
Wait, someone called me?
I mean it's not like
Someone
actual
called
nudity,
me?
so
Oh dear.
you really don't need to do this. Alright, let's speedrun
I'm-
this.
I know, but I am the one who pushed you. I'm taking responsibility.
But I never asked you to.
But I've decided to take responsibility nevertheless, because I'm exceedingly a kind person.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Lorraine, I'm shocked and appalled at you. Are you doubting my insincerity?
Well, Lorena glanced down at her knees. There were two pale pink islands that jutted out from the surface of the water. She shifted, her back pressed against the cool tin tub. The water about her rippled. Droplets of moisture dripped slowly down her neck. Her fringe struck against her forehead, damp and moist and underwhelmingly lukewarm. Whenever Lorna found the time to take a bath, the water was never hot. Lukewarm was about as good as it got. In fact, lukewarm was better than it usually was. That was all thanks to Toho. Lorna had tried to protest, albeit feebly, but Toho had insisted. In a precise and orderly manner that spoke volumes of Toho's experience as a maid, the older woman had lit the fire in the laundry room, retrieved the tin bathtub from its dusty corner, and filled it with water. The whole process, which was so time-consuming most servants rarely bothered, had taken Toho a scant half hour. It was a miracle on par with Jesus multiplying his bread and fish. Toho kneeling on the floor beside Lorna, resting her elbows against the rim of the old rusted tub. Lorna swallowed. You don't need to stare at me.
I know I don't need to, but I want to.
But why?
Because I like looking.
I don't think I'm much to look at.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure.
But I'm not pretty like my sisters.
I've never met your sisters, so I can't judge.
Really, compared to them, I'm incredibly average.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, my little Lori, and
Toho raised an eyebrow.
I find that rather hard to believe.
Lorna, acutely aware of Toho's roving eyes, flushed and tried to hide her chest with her bare arms. Unfortunately, it did little good. Don't stare at me.
I can't help it. Your breasts are so large, I don't know where else to look.
Okay, I don't know if I should play this actually, like, I don't know. Does it... Can always skip it. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, I'll just like spam click through this.
Yeah, I don't know.
You might wanna.
I'm
Yeah.
getting too flustered. I
It's
can't
pretty long.
continue.
Yeah. God, it
Oh, well.
goes on and on.
Hmm.
This was our moment, Dren.
And Dren said no.
Yeah, you wound me.
You're right. I won't be safe for marriage.
I won't be, ah.
No, you messed that one up,
I am tohoing it. I am
Lorna
tohoing
shifted,
it.
her face darkened. All of a sudden she remembered Arthur Pickering and his unhealthy fixation on her and her eyes and her hair. He'd told her she had beautiful hair. The memory was enough to make Lorena feel ill. And we're back. Click, 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 click.
Click, 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 click.
Need an auto clicker.
The clicking simulator.
So this is where your 4,500 hours went, huh?
Hmm.
Just
That
stayed
makes
on
sense.
This scene. It was just AFK
Makes sense
on this
now.
scene.
Yeah, it's just like a save file for every, like,
Yep.
each frame of the scene.
This makes sense.
Quickly clip Dren.
Don't, please.
Like that.
I feel
Like,
like this
click
should
that.
actually be deleted, like if people post this in the server.
Yeah, no, this definitely can't
Yeah.
make it out
Yeah.
of here.
This has
No.
to stay in the Patreon chat for sure.
The click.
Patreon
Yeah.
exclusive? Wow.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah,
Yes.
Alan, this stays here.
Yep. Okay.
Get back.
That evening... Can't believe I'm playing this. That evening found Lorna in Toho's room sitting by her side on her bed. Neither woman spoke about what happened earlier. Lorna had tried on multiple occasions, but the words failed her. She couldn't. It was painfully embarrassing. More excruciating than having her fingernails torn out. But just because Lorna wasn't talking about it, that didn't mean she wasn't thinking about it. Click, 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 click.
Oh my god.
Lorna squirmed, clamping her thighs together and almost upset the teacup and saucer sat on her lap. It was a good thing her clumsiness remained as an almost, because Lorna didn't fancy the idea of spilling boiling tea all over herself.
Goodness gracious, you should be more careful, my little Lori.
How funny, and I thought you might like to see me suffer. Hang on, let me read the chat.
Dren's Toho clicking came in clutch with that.
I'm ready to go. Do I have to speak anymore, do you think?
I have
Yeah, you
no
gotta
idea.
stay here the whole time.
Yes.
You're here for the
Mine's,
long
if
haul.
I'm here for this, you have to be here too.
Fuck, man. Hurry up, skip through the
Okay.
rest.
Oh, okay.
We skip through the saucy part. That's all you get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the saucy
Toho
part is-
blinked innocently.
Whatever gave you that idea?
Everything you've ever done and said to me.
Oh dear. I think you might have misunderstood my true intentions.
What?
I spend time with you, my little Lori, not to derive pleasure from your expense, but rather because spending time with you makes me happy. If that is a crime, then I am guilty of it, and I will hang from my neck in the Newgate prison.
Don't be ridiculous. You don't mean that.
How do you know what I mean? Please don't make assumptions, my little Lori.
But what do you want me to think?
That I'm telling you the truth.
That you really like me?
If I didn't, I wouldn't have kissed you so passionately.
Hmm. Lorna squeaked, her cheeks flushed until she was as red as a beet.
How charming.
Toho smiled and pressed a kiss against the tip of Lorna's nose. I thought we weren't going to talk about what happened.
We weren't talking about it, no, but I was still thinking about it. Your flushed face has brought it all back to me. You were so lovely, my little Lori. It was something of a struggle to focus on my chores today. Not even Heracles faced such a lofty obstacles during his 12 labors.
You're exaggerating.
Maybe, maybe not.
Lorena dipped her head and breathed slowly in and out. She had to calm herself, calm her heart. The air was infused with the scent of rosehip tea. It was a soothing, balmy aroma that made Lorena think of flower gardens. In her heightened state of self-consciousness, Lorena found herself examining the cup and saucer on her lap in more detail than it warranted. She just needed something to focus on beyond self-indulgent memories of Toho's mouth and lips and tongue. The teacup was as good a distraction as any. The cup was chipped about the rim and significantly more battered than the tableware Lady Leonard used to serve her guests. Even so, the cup was made of china and had probably been quite expensive once upon a time. The light blue design with twigs and leaves snaking about the circumference attested as much. It had been crafted by the fingers of an artisan, though they must have been long dead by now. Toho,
Yes, my little Lori.
do these cups belong to you?
They do now.
But they didn't before?
No, these cups must be a good decade or older than I.
Lorena looked at Toho curiously. Just how old are you?
Not quite as old as the earth, but older than a newborn babe.
Lorena rolled her eyes. You are impossible.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
It wasn't.
But I will take it as one all the same.
Lorena huffed and turned her head away. Why was Toho so infuriating? And she still hadn't answered her question. Who had those teacups once belonged to? It was probably the same person who'd given Toho her violin. Lady Whiter, was it? But what of Toho's family? Her parents, brothers or sisters, uncles or aunts, or cousins or nieces or nephews? Lorena didn't know. There was a lot about Toho she didn't know. The older woman really was a mystery. If spending time with Toho had been like a dream. Mine's.
Where on earth have you been, Lorena?
Then returning to the servants' quarters that night was a nightmare. Pauline had been waiting for Lorina's return, standing sentinel by the doorway. Just how long had she been waiting? 5 minutes? 10? 15? Pauline's back was suspiciously rigid and her teeth were clenched together like she was in the latter stages of rigor mortis. What's wrong?
You have the gall to ask me what's wrong after what you did today? Have you no shame?
Please enlighten me, I seem to have forgotten.
Oh, so you forgot, did you? You forgot that you were supposed to help me beat the carpets in the West Wing hallway?
Well, Lorena looked down at her shoes. She really had forgotten. It had been hard to think of anything else while lying in that tin bathtub, Toho's fingers caressing her. But thinking about that was embarrassing. Lorena blushed.
I see you're ashamed of your conduct, at least, but it isn't good enough. We maids are supposed to work as a team. What the hell? It's as Mr. Lester says, Bly is like swan. It appears graceful on the surface, but underneath...
Who is Isabel?
Sorry, that was me. There are dozens of us working hard, trying to keep everything afloat.
That's right. Sorry. To put it in a way you might understand, we help one another. We don't rush off on our own whenever we feel like it. I know you're still a young girl, but you have to learn to stop being so selfish. The world doesn't revolve around you and your wants. Sorry, Cash was being a dick in general.
Yeah, I was trying to catch up,
Now.
but I couldn't between things.
What's going on?
No, it's just Castro and Naro are arguing in general again.
Anything I should be worried about?
No, it's
I'm
just they
gonna
do it
find
all the
them out.
time.
You're gonna what?
Should I tell? I think I'm gonna time them out.
Yeah,
Let
sure.
me see what they're cooking.
Pauline smiled, smug and self-satisfied.
Are you going to apologize?
Apologize? Was this some sort of joke? You. Lorena's chest rose and fell, constrained beneath the material of her maid's uniform. How dare you?
How dare I? You're the one at fault here, Lorena.
That's right. You really inconvenienced Pauline.
It's childish to blame others when you've done nothing wrong by them.
Don't lash out. You should know better.
Try growing up. Can't you see the error of your ways?
Not that a harlot like you could.
There's always hope. I would like, at least, to give her a chance.
The benevolent Saint Pauline, in all her godly goodliness, rounded on Lorena. Her eyes were hard.
No more second chances. Admit you did something wrong. Say you're sorry.
Are you being serious?
Quite serious. Why would I joke about something like this?
Your manners are no laughing matter.
Just looking at you, one would think you were raised in a barn.
Didn't your mother teach you better?
You leave my mother out of this.
Dan, are you here?
Oh, that was Alexi, right? Is Alexi gone?
I think we got Seneca.
Okay, I am.
Sam was covering.
This is not Isabel. Hey, talking about her mother is not nice. Lorena may have done you wrong, but
Lorena winced. She could feel a headache coming on. Shut up, Lottie.
But why? I was trying to defend you.
I know, and I appreciate it, but you're not helping.
Maybe not, but I believe that you truly should help Pauline. You're supposed to be Miss Smith. Miss Smithy said.
I know I was supposed to help Pauline, but she frequently forgets to help me. Why is it acceptable for her to shirk her duties, yet I get raked across the coals? It's unfair.
And here I was, trying to be nice. I wanted to give you a chance, but...
Pauline drew closer to the younger maid. Her cool mask was slipping, melted by Lorena's anger.
I don't think you deserve it after all. Not if you're so stubborn you can't admit your own failings.
Failures? That's rich coming from a woman like you.
You selfish brat. Have you thought about anyone other than yourself your entire life?
I should be the one asking you that.
What?
You didn't want me to help you earlier. You wanted me to do all the work, like usual, so you could gallivant off and do God knows what. You just wanted to flirt with the valets or share gossip with Isabel. That's all you ever do. You never do any real work. You push it all on me. I'm sick of it.
So you're saying this is my fault?
That's right. You reap what you sow.
So
Fuck
were
it
you
up.
trying to punish me? You? Lorena Woe? Wow.
Yes, you've gotten away with far too much for far too long. Well, I won't let you take advantage of me anymore. I refuse. Pauline glared at Lorena. Lorena glared back. The two women were inches away from one another, neither backing down. The tension in the air was so thick you could have cut it with a knife. For a few moments, everything came to a
Rock
halt.
climbing competition.
What?
We'll settle this with rock climbing competition.
Yep.
You, me.
And then, all of a sudden,
You shameless hussy. How dare you speak to your elders like that?
there was a loud crack. Lorena's head was snapped roughly to one side. A sharp, stinging pain flared up in her right cheek.
I just slapped the shit out of you.
I think.
Oh shit.
The younger maid gasped, her breathing ragged. She took an uneasy step or two backwards, pressing her fingers gingerly against her flushed skin. Pauline had slapped her. The older maid had really slapped her.
Oh.
Bro, I don't like
Damn.
my character. I don't like these characters. I would
Lorena.
like to be done.
No, you have to play all the horrible ones. Are you alright?
Hmm.
Lorena was not lying beneath her covers, curled up like a weevil inside a biscuit. The sound of Ada's voice, however, drew her from her reverie. The young maid turned, thin sheets sliding off her body, and glanced at her friend. It was difficult to pick out Ada's individual features in the gloom, but Lorena could just about see the furrow of her eyebrows and the downward curve of her lips. She looked worried. I'm fine. You should go to sleep, Ada. I know I should sleep, but it's so windy outside, and I was worried about you. Why are you worried about me? After what Pauline did, I'm sorry I didn't step in. I wanted to stand up for you, but I didn't know what to say. Ada's face crumpled. I never know what to say. I'm so useless. Oh, Ada.
Got that right.
I don't think you're useless. I appreciate that. The thought. That's more than enough. But you were right. Pauline always shoves work onto other people. She does it to me too. She used to do it more before you arrived, before I used to be the youngest. And now I have the honor of her undivided attention. I'm so happy. I'm sorry, I'm used to her pushing me around, so I was actually relieved when you started working here. Pauline's left me alone since then, but I feel so guilty. I shouldn't be happy that you're being mistreated in my place. I really am a bad person. Don't be silly, you're not bad. But, A bad person wouldn't worry about being a bad person, unlike Pauline. Do you think she feels guilty about anything she's done? Maybe
Nope.
not. What? There you see,
Said no.
you have nothing in common with Pauline. You're a good girl, she's pure evil. Evil? That's a bit harsh. She slapped me, she deserves it. Ehehe. Well, I suppose you're right. Thank you, Lori, I feel a lot better now. That's quite alright. Wait. Lorena paused, her eyes narrowed. What do you mean, Lori? It's nothing. I just heard you talking with Toho a few days ago, and she called you that, so... Goodness gracious. Lorena sighed. Lori. Was that to be her new nickname? It wasn't as though she didn't like it, but... Achoo. All of a sudden, a soft, raspy little cough forced its way from Ada's throat. It wasn't particularly loud, but Lorena hadn't expected it, and it made her jump all the same. Who left? Ver left, I think?
Yep, Ver.
Bless you. I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's just so cold in here. That's alright, I understand. You should try and get some sleep, you wouldn't want to get sick. Ehehe, I was trying to comfort you, but you ended up comforting me. It's alright, I don't mind, I'm used to being the big sister. I'm a big sister too. But you have 3 brothers, I have 3 sisters, it's different. Lori, sorry, I meant Lorena. It's fine, you can call me Lori. She might as well let her. The damage had already been done. Okay. So, do you guys not know, like, how much left is in this game?
Give me a second. I think we can probably just search what day it ends at. So it's what day are we at right now?
April 6th. Wait, no, sorry, that's current date. 5th of May.
Ready to go.
One stream left?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll call it here then. I hope there's no more, like, sus scenes like that.
In case that like
I don't
just
know.
popped out.
I'll have to
of the
spam click
sky.
through them again. Alright, wait. Let me double check I saved. Okay. Alright. We made it. Alright, I'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
See ya!
Bye-bye.